It has been a while since I've made a video, so I figured I would just do a little quick slice of life on what social distancing in Bali is like. It is the beginning of April. I'm currently in Ubud, and I'll be staying here until I leave. I need to go and get some supplies from the store. I need to go get some money out of the ATM to continue to pay my guest house, and just a little some other little things. So I figured I'd take you all along and show you a little bit about, you know, what Bali is like currently and what I've been up to. So I think it's going to be about a 30-minute walk. A 30-minute walk in order to get to where I need to go. I'm going to like a supermarket and also a this like ATM thing. Quite a few places that are open. I was not expecting that. Back on the street where I stay, where my guest house is, pretty much everything was closed. It's making me so sad. I hope all those folks are okay. But yeah, so on this sort of main strip in Ubud, things are open, and it's actually, I mean, you can probably see people riding by me. There's quite a few people on the street. Looks like I got back just in time. It started downpouring. We are technically in the rainy season here, so it rains probably once a day in the evenings, so not bad at all, and it actually is quite refreshing to have, you know, the rain, but it'll clear up in about like an hour usually. Not bad at all when it could be like a proper raining monsoon season where it rains nonstop. So now I think I'm actually gonna take a nap. Very tired. This is the life of social distancing, not doing anything. But I ended up getting the things that I needed. Got a couple of things to snack on. I got a yoga mat, because I think I'm gonna, in this space out here, do yoga in the mornings, just to get some movement, because honestly, a lot of the time I'm just, you know, chilling in here, downstairs. I'll show you the pool maybe tomorrow or something like that, but yeah, so I figured I would do that, and then I bought some face masks for when I do eventually leave. Hey everyone. I thought I would just do a little like sit down check-in. I'm here on the balcony of my room. But yeah, I thought I would just do a sit down check-in about what it's been like social distancing in Bali. Maybe I should just talk about kind of how I got here. I had planned and successfully left my job in the beginning of January and was planning on traveling for a year abroad. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, we sort of heard about a virus that was affecting mostly people in mainland China, but we still didn't, you know, think it was going to be to the extent that it is now. So upon leaving the Philippines and heading to Bali, that was really my first sort of taste of what I guess maybe the rest of the world had been going through, and it was very slight. So upon entering Bali, and this was the middle-ish beginning of March, we had to get our temperature taken upon entering, and also do like a health declaration, but I actually think I did that in the Philippines too, so never mind. So I got here, and that's when everything sort of like flew off the handle, like maybe 2 days after I arrived. Now I was only planning on staying in Bali for 10 days and then I was gonna move on to Malaysia. Maybe 2 days or so after I arrived is when a lot of the like State Department, actually I don't even think the US had given any direction yet. Mostly like European countries were saying, you know, you need to come back. A lot of places were calling their citizens. People were still pretty chill about it. Not chill like, oh, this is nothing, but more so just like trying not to panic, I think. But it wasn't until the US gave its order to return that I think a lot of people started trying to leave. Around that time I looked at flights, and it was maybe like, I saw flights that were like $3,000 for a one-way ticket back. So I figured I'll wait it out and stay here in Bali and just socially distance and sort of self-quarantine myself here. Not a bad place to do it either. And since then, I have tried to book 3 flights from Bali back to the US, and all of them except this most recent one has been canceled. So I decided to just stick it out here. My next flight, the flight that I have booked now, is for May. It's currently April 6th or 7th. And I just want to talk a little bit about my experience doing that. I am staying at a guest house. It has kind of everything that you would need in it. So I have my own room. There's a restaurant, which the owner of the guest house is a Balinese chef, so he cooks food, so there's good food there, but also Grab is available. I guess I'll say that I was 100% not expecting to stay here, you know? I was really only expecting and planning on staying in Ubud for 10 days. And here I am like 2 months later. And you know, I'm not complaining at all. Like, it's a really nice place to be able to quarantine, to be able to like socially distance, because there's beautiful scenery. I'm able to go outside without seeing people. It seems like me and like the 3 other people at my guest house are like the only people who are here. Ubud is very, very, very quiet. I saw someone who had been in Canggu, and they said that it was like normal, although people were you know, getting takeaway instead of eating out, but there were still people there. They closed all the beaches here and like most of the like tourist attractions here. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be kind of all over the place because I have so many thoughts. I was originally planning on going to Malaysia and spending a week there and preparing, and then going off to India after that for 2 months. But when it comes to my plans, I don't feel any like sadness or animosity about having to stay in Bali for 2 months, having a lot of my flights canceled, or my plans being thrown up in the air. I have been planning this, and I'll probably do a video on like how I planned, how I budgeted, all of that. I don't feel any type of way about it, because once this passes over and I am able to travel again, I feel like just the short amount of time that I've traveled, which is 3 months, or I guess it'll be 4 months by the time that I hopefully head back to the US. I feel like I've learned so much, and I would totally redo my trip, if that makes sense. Like, I find that my original trip was like very bounce from place to place, quick traveling. Like when I was in Vietnam, I was just like, you know, moving every few days, like every 5 days or so. And what I found is that I actually prefer slower travel, like sitting somewhere for a time, just enjoying a place versus trying to bounce around. And I think I really realized that when I was in the Philippines and I was staying at one hostel for basically 2.5 weeks, and I really got to know the people and know the people around the hostel, and you get to know like people in the town and whatnot, and really get to hang out and experience. Like, that's what I enjoy about traveling, not necessarily like going to tourist attractions. Like, I think that's just like stuff to do, but more so getting to know people and being able to have conversations about, you know, different ideas, different types of culture, experiencing different types of food. If I could do it all over again, and when I sort of replan my trip, I think I will spend time in, I'll do fewer countries, I think, and spend more time within each country. I also feel like this has like forced me to really slow down and do some of the more internal work that I was supposed to be doing while I'm traveling. I think when you're traveling quickly, you're like, what's the next thing? I need to plan, schedule, and do this and that, and what flight am I gonna get on? But when I'm just sitting here, I've been here at this place for almost a month now, and I'll be here for another month. When you're able to sit down and just like reflect and not have anything to do, there's like no, you know, obviously no parties. It's just better, I think, to actually, it's more conducive, I guess what I'm trying to say, to reflecting, and to actually thinking about like why I quit my job, what I want to do, and resisting the urge to be productive. But I do think, like, now that I'm just sitting here, I made a commitment to myself that I was gonna film more and put out some of the videos that I've been thinking about, like how I budgeted for this and how I sort of planned in my mind. Like I said, all of that is sort of thrown out of the window now, but I can still share it as like a helpful thing if that's useful for folks. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and sort of, I don't know, reflect on what it's like to be here. Everyone who's staying here has, for the most part, except for one person, has been staying here or will stay here for like a month. And so you're able to like talk to people, obviously from a distance, at dinner. And it's funny because we each, there's like 3 or 4 of us here, and so when we're all at dinner, each of us have our own like table. I have my own little table, somebody else has their table. Just a way of like, you know, respecting people's personal space in these trying times. No, but really, it's nice to be able to see familiar faces and catch up and be able to talk about, you know, what people are doing during the day. Some people take walks, like solitary walks. I mostly stay here and will like be in the pool a lot, and because also it's like so hot. Can I tell you, being in Bali, this is the sweatiest I've ever been. And that's like coming from Thailand, which is also really, really hot when I went, and the Philippines, which was also really, really, really hot when I went. But this has been literally the sweatiest, without a doubt. Like, I will walk down the street, if it's any time after 9 a.m., I will walk down the street, and after taking like 50 steps, not even, I'll be like drenched as if I poured a bottle of water all over me. But anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. and staying as healthy as possible, what healthy, you know, means to you, and staying in. You know, when my flights were canceled, I was a little disappointed, not because I would have to stay in Bali, but because I wanted to see my family, and I was looking forward to seeing, I was gonna be coming back to stay with my parents, basically. But I was also a little nervous because I was gonna be flying, and then who knows what I would be bringing back. And I think my parents were a little bit nervous about that too. And so when my flight got canceled, it pushed, like, my return flight would be after the peak of the curve, as they say in the US. I think everyone was a little bit more comfortable with me coming back at that time, especially since I'm comfortable here. Like, I'm fine to stay here. Bali, actually, I think that if it was Bali or the Indonesian government in general, but issued emergency visas to everyone, we can stay here for not as long as we want, but until this is over and they like lift the restrictions on flights. You know, all things put into perspective, I think I would like to be close to my family. I would like to be home because I want to hang out with my mom and, like, you know, talk to my dad, watch shows with my dad and whatnot, and have access to some of my, like, comfort foods and whatnot. But I'm fine to stay here. I'm fine to, like, be here. I really, yeah, have taken this time to sort of put it into perspective. And I think it's also important not to, like, panic or to, you know, be overly anxious, I guess. And as a person who is, like, naturally very anxious, I've been, like, practicing that. So how to not be overly anxious about something that I can't really control. I want everybody to be, like, safe and healthy, and happy, and to have a good attitude about it. So anyways, I feel like I'm just, like, rambling on and on, but it feels good to chat. I will say that most of the stuff in Bali is closed up. Like, I feel really bad for a lot of the, like, local Balinese people. I would say maybe 70% of the stores, or, like, restaurants, stores, whatever, are closed. It's really only, like, the mini mart, a couple restaurants here and there, and then, of course, if your guest house has, like, a kitchen or whatnot, they would probably be open too. I know that people in Southeast Asia have been through this before with SARS, and so they'll bounce back, they're resilient, all of that, but it's just sad to see, you know, so many people closing up shop. You know, it's gonna be a little bit, like, a little bit of time before people feel comfortable traveling again too. So it's not like something that's gonna, you know, snap back immediately. Once there is you know, if there is vaccine, once there is a vaccine. There's a freaking spider here that's blowing me. Go away. No. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get off here. All right, thanks for watching.